Yeah, that was a banger. Are we?
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, let me tell you something. I consider myself a musical expert, like a legit. I'll go back in time here. So I was, and this will date me, American Idol. When American Idol was like huge, I got into that show just by accident, like season 1, Kelly Clarkson. I was like, what is this show? So I started watching it. And I'm like, ooh, I like this show. And Kelly Clarkson was fucking awesome, and you knew she'd win. And every year I started watching American Idol. Swear to God, I picked the winner for the first 10 seasons before the first elimination episode aired. To the point, Cosmo Magazine, you know Cosmo Magazine?
Yeah.
They had a radio show. Barstool wasn't big. They didn't know who I was. I became the American Idol expert on their show. Like when someone got eliminated, I talked to them, be like, yo, you did this wrong, you did that. Like I was an Adam Lambert fanatic. Like I used to follow him around. I had pictures. Like I had a white t-shirt. I wrote Lord Lambert on it, the guy's voice. So I know music. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was awesome. We didn't even, and like, I mean, there's like different drops in the song. There's like when Jaden comes in, it changes the vibe a little bit. It's a crazy song.
So
She killed it.
like what's next then, Nessa? Like you dropped this. What number song is this that you've released?
This is my 3rd.
Okay. How is this doing compared to the first 2?
I mean, like, a lot better. A lot. But, like, I'm not surprised just because, like, my first 2 were just, I mean, it was just, like, the start of, like, my music career. So it's, like, really nothing compared to what I've been working on recently. I feel like I've grown so much, so the first 2 are kind of...
If I ask ignorant questions, excuse me, but are you signed to a label or anything?
Yeah, I'm signed to Warner.
Oh, so a huge label. So how many people are involved? Are you, and again, Paul and I, who's sitting here with me now, we used to do music tours back in the day. And we look for kind of up-and-coming artists, and there's a lot before maybe social media was huge, but Barstool was big at the time. So if we put somebody on our tour, they could blow up really quick. So, for example, we had I paid $1,500 for Mac Miller, for like a 6. Yes, I know. That's how early we were at the game. He traveled with us. He was like the 3rd guy to come on. Like, was Mac Miller.
Ridiculous.
Did we lose you? Were you just whispering or could we not hear you?
Who, me or Ness?
Oh, no, we got you. I was joking.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how early we were to the game. And we'd see, like, we had Wale, Mac Miller. We had this guy, Mike Posner, was the headliner, like, cool shader than me. He sings A Pill in Ibiza. Like, so we had, and we'd see them as they go from singing in their dorm room, so to speak, to agents and teams and things like that. How big is your team right now?
I'd say that my team is actually fairly small just because I'm very hands-on with everything that I do. I want like complete creative control, and I don't really want to like lose myself in the industry, if that makes sense. So I really just have like my like day-to-day manager that like covers like all my shit, and then my A&R at my label.
So that makes a lot of sense, because I guess that was the number one like push-pull thing that we would see from an outsider perspective is when somebody signed or did something, it was like, okay, they want me to do this, they want me to do it this way. I know Mac was one of them. Who was the first artist? There was a guy who refused to sign while we were.
Who? Was it Chance the Rapper that refused to sign to a label? I know he never wanted to sign to
I didn't hear who you said.
Chance the
Rapper.
Yes, Chance the Rapper. He did it, and he almost made that song like he has the lyrics in about it, but there was somebody else. Mac Miller. Was it Mac?
Yeah, early on.
He wouldn't sign?
Yeah, it was always that push-pull, and the internet totally flipped the game, because Nessa can be huge without necessarily... She doesn't need radio play. You always, back in the day, needed radio play.
Yeah.
And if you didn't play ball, you didn't get on the radio, and you really couldn't explode. And then all of a sudden, the internet, people were exploding without them.
Well, it's because the labels were the distribution, right?
Right.
They got you all the streams, or they got you those first plays to get your song out there. Nessa is the distribution.
Correct. Exactly.
Like, she has her own in-house fans that will listen to every single song she puts out. Like, she already has automatic streams, essentially.
So what's
Which is
next
crazy.
then, Nessa? Is there...
Will you tour
Yeah,
after COVID?
I was wondering that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like I'm taking it on as like my full-on job, like for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
Have you ever, obviously I'm sure you've sang in front of people, but COVID now has been like a year, so crowds aren't happening. I'm assuming your star is way bigger than it was a year ago, a month ago, whatever. What's like the biggest crowd you've ever seen? Because I assume when you do it, you're going to have a fairly large crowd.
Oh yeah, and I'm so scared.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess that's what I was
No,
driving at.
no, it's actually terrible because I have like the worst like social anxiety, and I get like so like nervous. If I'm being honest, I've literally never sung in front of a crowd of people.
That can be
That's
quite
gonna be-
scary.
Yeah. So I literally know like my first ever like concert or tour or whatever, I will shit myself on stage. Like it's just gonna happen.
That's crazy. And most normal, at least for the most part, most normal progression, you start small and then you're like gradually till you blow, but you have the experience. You're just
Right, like you're
Yeah,
doing
well,
like 200 people
gonna
shows.
go
I mean,
right?
like,
you
I'm-
get those
Yeah.
steppings. She'll probably go in and have like a
Thousands.
1,000 to 5,000. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like thousands of people.
I
for a
mean,
show.
like I've had like solos and stuff like at like in like chorus, like for my school, like in the choir and stuff. Like for like I guess my whole school and like their parents and like family. So I mean I don't know if that counts, but
no, that counts. And I guess you can always control it. It's like you don't have to go to like a huge venue. But yeah, it's super interesting. So once you release this, are you just getting bombarded with offers, people trying to like pull you in different directions?
I do believe that this song has given me a lot more opportunities to get into like the studio, and just like with like a bunch of different people and like a bunch of different sessions, which is really exciting. Yeah, I mean it's been like a crazy experience. I know this song got on radio. It was like it premiered on like 14 different radio stations like an hour before it dropped, and I've never been on the radio before, so it's like
So have you heard has that moment that everyone kind of like a lot of singers will talk about or entertain? It's like you just happen to be driving in the car and like your own song comes on. Has that happened to you yet?
I mean, when we were at the release night, we were
Yeah.
hearing you.
I mean, like when the release night during dinner, it came on the radio.
Yeah,
And
that was cool. We were
was
at like
dope.
Sugar Factory eating everyone, and then her interview came on. They pretty much did like 30 minutes of just hype leading up to her song on the radio. So you kept just hearing her come on, do interviews with them, and then they released the song. So I mean, that was cool.
Yeah, my vibe is like you're gonna be like we're gonna look back and be like, ooh, we had Nessa on this. She was
Yeah.
like a gigantic.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think so too. It's like one of the only TikTokers whose music I'll actually listen to.
I'll give you a heads up, Nessa, too. And again, Paul, who's been with me for 17 years, I'll put this in your like tickler file for the future. My biggest pet peeve in the world is when we speak with people or like talent and they're big, but they're not mega. And then when they get mega and it's like, hey, want to come on BFFs? Like, no, who are you? I will
Yeah,
hate
better not
you
switch up
forever.
on us.
if you
I'm
do
not like that. I'm not
Yeah.
like that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens when the fame goes to your head.
that. We've had that.